What you're about to hear has never been told to Western media, the first-hand account of a North Korean major general who signed execution orders for entire families. For 2 decades, he lived in a luxury Pyongyang apartment, dining on imported delicacies, while people outside the capital starved. Then came the day he was ordered to execute a 16-year-old girl whose only crime was being related to someone who watched a South Korean drama. This exclusive testimony reveals how North Korea's elite enforcers become its most dangerous defectors. For more exclusive testimonies from inside the world's most secretive regime, subscribe and become part of our investigative community. Your subscription helps us continue this crucial work. It all began like this. Or more precisely, it was the beginning of the end. I lived in Cheong District, Pyongyang. As you may know, Pyongyang is where only North Korea's most privileged live. And even within Pyongyang, Cheong District was special. Party officials, high-ranking military officers, state security officers. They all lived in our apartment complex. My building was 15 stories high. Think of it like living in a luxury high-rise in Manhattan. Every morning I'd wake up to the Daedong River visible through my curtains, the same river where my mother used to walk with me when I was small. Back then I had no idea how many tears were hidden behind that beautiful view. My title was Major General in the State Security Department. Think of it as North Korea's version of the CIA, except far more ruthless. We monitored citizens, hunted down dissidents. I did that work for 20 years. At first, I felt proud, like I was protecting the homeland. My grandfather fought the Japanese as a partisan. My father was a party official. 3 generations of loyalty to the regime. My wife was a professor at Pyongyang Light Industry University. She studied synthetic fibers, quiet, brilliant. My son graduated from Kim Il-sung University and became a diplomat. My daughter went to Pyongyang Medical School and became a doctor. In North Korea, a family like ours was rare. We were the elite. Every morning, I rode in a private car to work. People would bow as I passed through the streets, fear and trembling in their eyes. I thought it was normal. I'm important, I told myself. That's all it was. Lunch was usually at the officials' dining hall. White rice, meat, even fruit. Meanwhile, people outside Pyongyang were eating corn porridge to survive. I knew this, and yet I ate without a second thought. They lack loyalty, I'd rationalize. That's why they suffer. Evenings, I'd stop by the foreign currency store. These were special shops. Ordinary citizens couldn't enter everything priced in dollars. I'd buy imported snacks, chocolate, foreign liquor, Japanese candy my daughter loved. I thought this was normal. Weekends, we'd visit our cottage by the Daedong River. Nothing grand, just a small house with a garden. But we could grill meat, drink soju by the water. I loved those moments. My mother was 85. She lost my father in the Korean War. "Young Chul," she'd say, "we lived this well because of the supreme leader. Always be grateful." I believed her. I really did. But sometimes, just sometimes, doubt crept in. During briefings at headquarters, I'd see reports titled "Political Prisoner Family Disposal." If a grandfather was labeled a reactionary, his grandson went to the camp too. For a moment, I'd think, is this right? Then I'd shake my head. I'm a loyal officer. I can't think like this. Evenings, my wife and I would watch the Central Television News. Always the same, the general's on-site guidance. Factory visits, farm visits. I never questioned it. I thought that was the whole world. And so 2015 came to a close. Peaceful, comfortable days, at least on the surface. But inside me, something was starting to crack. I just didn't realize it yet. That winter, the first snow fell. I stood at my office window looking down at Pyongyang streets. I'm a fortunate man, I thought, but I had no idea that my happiness was built on the suffering of others. I was about to find out. Spring 2016, the moment my life changed completely. Being a state security major general looked glamorous from the outside. But really it was a position stained with blood. That day seemed routine, or so I thought. Orders came down inspection tour of a political prison camp in North Hamgyong province. I left Pyongyang before dawn. As we drove north, the landscape shifted. Beyond Pyongyang, it was like entering another country. The roads were rough. People wore ragged clothes. I saw children digging for roots by the roadside. That's when I realized outside Pyongyang, people were starving. When we arrived at the camp, I can still see it. Beyond the barbed wire, what I saw weren't people. They were skeletal ghosts, empty eyes, too weak to walk. "Comrade Major General, this week's execution list." The camp director handed me a file. My hands shook. My heart sank as I read. Park Chul-soo, 52, crime-watching South Korean drama. Kim Young-hee, 47, crime wife of Park Chul-soo. Park Min-jun, 19, crime son of Park Chul-soo. Park Soo-jin, 16, crime daughter of Park Chul-soo. The entire family punished by association. The grandfather watched a South Korean drama, so the whole family was dragged to the camp 3 years ago. 3 years of starvation and torture, and now they were scheduled for execution. Just sign here, Comrade Major General. The director held out a pen. I stared at that family. The 16-year-old daughter caught my eye. About my daughter's age. What had this child done wrong? Her fate was sealed the moment she was born, because her grandfather watched a drama. My hand shook so badly I couldn't sign. My aide looked at me strangely. "Sir, are you all right?" "I'm fine." I forced myself to pick up the pen, and I signed. My hand authorizing the execution of 4 people. That night I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that 16-year-old girl's face. It overlapped with my daughter's. If I make a mistake, will my family end up like this too? The next morning, orders came to witness the execution. I couldn't refuse. Behind the camp there was a pit. That was the execution site. They lined people up and shot them. Gunshots echoed. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Those sounds still ring in my ears. In that moment I realized this isn't right. This is wrong. On the drive back to Pyongyang, I kept thinking about the past 20 years. What had I done? I believed I was protecting the homeland, but really I'd been complicit in killing innocent people. When I got home, I held my daughter. "Dad, what's wrong? Are you sick?" she asked. "No, I just missed you." I held her close and swallowed my tears. That night I carefully asked my wife, "Do you think we're living the right way?" She looked startled. "What are you talking about? Why would you say something so dangerous?" "Nothing, just a thought." After that day, the world looked different. The faces I passed on my way to work, fear and hunger written across them. Even at the officials' dining hall, I couldn't swallow my food. During briefings on anti-regime purge quotas, I felt sick. Those numbers represented people, but we treated them like inventory. My mother noticed. "Young Chol, you don't look well. What's wrong?" "Nothing, Mother. Just busy at work." I couldn't tell her. She'd believed in the regime her whole life. Every night I had nightmares. The people from the camp appeared in my dreams. "Why did you kill us? What did we do wrong?" they asked. I had no answer. And so 2016 passed. On the surface, I was still a loyal state security major general. Inside, I'd become someone else entirely. My faith in the regime had shattered, but I hadn't thought about escaping yet. I didn't have the courage. I just thought I had to endure this pain. I didn't know then. A greater trial was coming. Summer 2018, I received the most terrible phone call of my life. "Comrade Major General, emergency summons. Come to headquarters immediately." The voice was cold. My heart started pounding. After 20 years in state security, I'd learned calls like this are never good news. I arrived at headquarters. Senior officials filled the conference room. The atmosphere was tense. "Major General Kim Young-chul, sit down." My superior spoke coldly. A file lay on the table. When I read the title, everything went dark. Ideological Review Report Kim Min-jun, my son's name. "Comrade Major General, do you know what your son did while serving as a diplomat in China?" "What? What do you mean?" My voice trembled. "While drinking with colleagues at the Beijing diplomatic residence, he made statements criticizing the regime. We have multiple witnesses." They showed me the file. My son's words recorded in detail. "Do you know how our people starve? Pyongyang looks decent, but beyond it is hell. Chinese people travel and do business freely. Why must we live like this?" My son had said this. It was true. But in North Korea, saying such things means death. "Comrade Major General, how did you raise your son?" The interrogation began. "I'm sorry. I failed to educate him properly. I could only bow my head." "Summon your son immediately. A political prison camp is inevitable. Of course, the entire family will be subject to guilt by association." Hearing those words, my mind went blank. Do you understand? What I'd done to others for 20 years was now happening to my family. All those execution orders I'd signed, now they were placed before my own family. On the way home, my legs gave out. I stood there for a long time. What do I do? What do I do? My mind went white. When I got home, my wife was preparing dinner. "Honey, why are you so late? The food's getting cold." Her voice was calm. I knew that calm would soon shatter. "Honey, Min-jun, My throat choked up. What about Minjun? Did something happen in China? She looked alarmed. I told her everything. She collapsed. So we're all getting dragged away. I'm sorry. I failed to teach our son properly. I knelt beside her. That night we didn't sleep at all. We sat facing each other, talking. What can we do? I don't know. If even you, a state security major general, can't do anything. At dawn, our daughter woke up. Mom, Dad, why aren't you sleeping? What's wrong? Nothing. Go back to bed. After putting her to sleep, my wife spoke. Honey, could we run away? Run away? She meant defection. But I shook my head. Impossible. State security guards everything. Especially high-ranking official families like ours were watched even more closely. The next day at work, my superior called me in. Comrade Major General will make a special accommodation. Accommodation? What accommodation? We'll only punish your son and spare the family. But there's a condition. What is it? You must show greater loyalty going forward. And next month, you'll lead a major purge operation in Hamgyong province. You must round up 500 or more. 500 people? They wanted me to imprison 500 innocent people? That was the condition for saving my son. We'll give you time. Answer within a week. Then they turned away. On the way home, I passed the Daedong River. The same river where my mother used to walk with me as a child. Back then, the world seemed beautiful. Now everything felt like hell. That evening, my mother called me over. Young Chol, what's wrong? Why do you look like that? Mother, I couldn't continue. Mother, is this really a just world? Are we truly happy? I asked carefully. She looked at me for a long time, then spoke. Young Chul, Mother knows what kind of country this is. But what can we do? We have to survive. She knew. She'd been pretending her whole life. In that moment, I decided, I can't do this anymore. I can't live like this. But I had no idea how. For a state security major general to defect, it was unthinkable. I looked up at the night sky. So many stars. Beyond those stars, was there a free world? A place where my family could live without fear? That night, I made my decision. I would prepare to escape, even if it cost my life. Fall 2019. I began my preparations in earnest. But it wasn't easy. A state security major general. Defecting, that's almost unprecedented in North Korean history. If I failed, my entire family would be publicly executed. I had to be meticulous. First, I had to convince my wife. One night, when no one else was home, I spoke carefully. Honey, I need to tell you something. What is it? Let's escape from here. She stared at me, breathless. For a long time, she couldn't speak. Then tears started flowing. Honey, could we really, people like us? We can. No, we have to. I can't live like this anymore. Our children have no future here. I gripped her hand tightly. But Mother? What about Mother? Her words tore at my heart. I couldn't leave my 85-year-old mother behind. But I couldn't take her either. She was too old and the journey would be too dangerous. Mother, I can't tell her. I'll just say I'm going on a business trip. I trailed off. Guilt washed over me. What kind of son was I? Next, I had to convince my son and daughter. I called my son in China. Minjun, don't come back to Pyongyang. Wait for us there. I spoke in code. My son was quick. Father, you don't mean. Yes, you know what I mean. Be ready. Understood, Father. I spoke carefully to my daughter, too. Sujin, do you trust Dad? Of course, Dad. Then just do what I say, no matter what happens. She nodded, looking anxious. I began planning in earnest. As State Security Major General, I had access to information. Which routes were safe, which border guards could be bribed, I knew it all. But using that information wasn't easy. Ordinary defectors crossed the Tumen or Yalu rivers into China. But I was different. If a State Security Major General disappeared, the border would be completely sealed. I needed another route. I considered the Russian route. There's a border area between North Korea and Russia. Security there was looser than on the Chinese side. And I had a secret card. A college friend who was a North Korean diplomat stationed in Russia. I contacted him carefully using encrypted messages. Brother, I need help. What's wrong? I can't say over the phone. Let's meet. At a Russian embassy event in Pyongyang, I met him. In a quiet corner away from others, I whispered, I'm planning to escape. Help me. He looked shocked. You, Major General, are you crazy? I'm not crazy, I've come to my senses. Please help me. You know how rotten this regime is, don't you? He thought for a long time, then nodded. All right, I'll arrange Russian visas for you. But after that, you're on your own. Thank you. Truly, I also needed money. As State Security Major General, I had access to some slush funds. I converted them to dollars and hid them in a safe place. Bribe money for the escape. I contacted border guards, 2 people who knew me. Comrades, I need to cross the border for a special mission. It's classified, so don't tell anyone. Here, take this. I handed over bundles of dollars. Their eyes lit up as they accepted. Understood, Comrade Major General. By December 2019, all preparations were nearly complete. One last time I went to see my mother. She was making kimchi. Young Chul, you're here? Should I make you some? It's okay, Mother. Let me help. Together we salted the cabbage and made the seasoning. My mother's hands were wrinkled. A lifetime of hardship. Holding those hands, tears came. Mother, I haven't been a good son. What are you talking about? You're doing well. No, I'm sinning against you. Young Chul, Mother knows. I know what you're thinking. She squeezed my hand. Go, you have to live. At least save your children. Mother, how did you know? Do you think I've become a fool in my old age? I can see it in your eyes. Tears rolled down her face. But I can't go. An old woman would just be a burden. You go. Live freely. Mother, don't cry. I'll be fine. My grave is here. Your father is here too. That night I slept in my mother's room. Like when I was small. She stroked my hair. My young Chul, you've suffered so much. Now go and live freely. The next morning I bowed to my mother. Mother, I'm going on a business trip. All right, be careful. We both knew. This was our last goodbye. As I left the house, I looked back. My mother stood at the gate, waving. I waved back. Tears streamed down my face. Mother, forgive me. Forgive your unfilial son. January 2020, the day finally came. The day of escape. January 15, 2020, 4 in the morning. The day of destiny. I left our Pyongyang home looking around one last time. The 15-story apartment, the Daedong River view, everything was the same. But I would never return. Honey, ready? My wife came out with just one small bag. Yes, let's go. Our daughter grabbed her bag too. Dad, will we really be okay? We'll be fine. Trust me. We got into my official car. I told the driver, Sinuichu, urgent business trip. Yes, Comrade Major General. The driver had no idea. No idea I was fleeing. As we left Pyongyang, I looked back. Dawn was breaking. Pyongyang's last morning. Goodbye, Pyongyang. Goodbye, Mother. I said farewell in my heart. The drive to Sinuiju took 5 hours. Time crawled. In the car, my wife and daughter didn't say a word. Their faces were tense. We arrived in Sinuiju and stopped at the State Security Branch office. A cover. Comrade Major General, what brings you here? Special border inspection mission. I'll be done by evening. In reality, I was checking the border area, making sure the guards I'd bribed were ready. 7 p.m., the appointed time. We went to a quiet spot along the Yalu River. A border guard was waiting. Comrade Major General, everything's ready. Thank you. Ordinary defectors swim across the river. But I was different. I showed my State Security Major General ID, crossing for a special mission. Don't record it. Understood. Can you believe it? I walked through the border checkpoint openly, using my position. Of course, I'd paid those guards handsomely in dollars. I set foot on Chinese soil. Honey, we did it. My wife embraced me. But it was too soon to relax. The real danger was just beginning. In Dandong, China, we got into a car I'd arranged ahead of time. A Korean-Chinese driver. Welcome. Let's go quickly. He didn't say much. He just needed the money. We headed for Beijing. My son was waiting there. We drove through the night and arrived in Beijing the next morning. The joy of seeing my son. Father, Mother! He ran to us. Minjun. Our family embraced. Tears flowed. But Beijing wasn't safe either. Chinese police catch defectors and send them back to North Korea. Especially high-ranking ones like me, we were in even greater danger. Father, we need to get to Russia quickly. I've booked plane tickets. My son had prepared everything. I was so proud. We went to Beijing airport. I had the Russian visa my friend had arranged, but exit inspection was the problem. If Chinese police checked my identity, it was over. Show me your passport. The officer spoke. My hand trembled. I handed it over. The officer checked his computer. Time seemed to stop. Go ahead. The officer returned my passport. Thank you. I finally exhaled. We boarded the plane. Vladivostok bound. Once seated, my legs went weak. Honey, we made it. Not yet. We have to reach Russia. The plane took off. China receded outside the window. North Korea was even farther away. Mother, stay well. Your son is unfilial. 2 hours later, we landed in Vladivostok, Russian soil. Are we okay now? My daughter asked. No, it's still dangerous here. Russia is close to North Korea. Indeed, Vladivostok had many North Korean workers. Someone might recognize me. We had to be careful. We checked into a hotel. That night, my son spoke. Father, I contacted the South Korean embassy. We're meeting them tomorrow. The next day, we went to the South Korean embassy. My heart felt like it would burst. Hello? I want to become a citizen of the Republic of Korea. Those were my first words. The embassy staff looked shocked. Can I see your ID? I showed them my North Korean State Security Major General ID. Please wait a moment. The staff went inside. A while later, they returned. A special team is coming from Seoul. Please wait a few days. Those few days were hell. We had to hide in the hotel room. We couldn't go outside. North Korean agents were surely looking for us. On the third day, I looked out the window and saw suspicious people loitering around the hotel. Honey, those people. I see them. North Koreans. We hurriedly packed. What do we do? Call the embassy. South Korean embassy staff arrived. Come now. It's dangerous. We slipped out the back door. Just as we got in the car, North Korean agents rushed over. There, get them. The car took off. Like a movie. I could see a chase car behind us. Faster, go faster. The driver sped up. We reached the airport. There's a special plane waiting. Board quickly. It was a plane sent by the South Korean government. We boarded. The door closed. North Korean agents had chased us to the airport, but they were too late. The plane was already taking off. I looked out the window. Russia was disappearing. North Korea was even farther away. Honey, now, we're really safe. I held my wife and children. We're heading to the Republic of Korea. The captain's announcement came through. Republic of Korea. Land of freedom. Tears flowed.